everyone feeling this morning? You can show me some thumbs up for each saying, okay, really good, not so good. Alright, I'm glad you're feeling good. So this morning in our math lesson, we're going to learn about measuring. Now I'm sure that a lot of people know what measuring is, but what are some jobs that you can think of that you have to measure a lot, or what are some things that you do around the house that you have to measure things for? Can anyone think of anything that you have to do around the house, or any jobs that your mom or your dad may do that they have to measure a lot of things? Yes, Sadie, what would you like to do?
When you're making food, you have to measure things?
Yes, so when you're making food, you have to measure. Is it like a cup of something, or a half a cup or something, or things like that? Is there anything else that you can think of around the house where you have to measure? Yes, Maddie.
Maybe like people have like their kids measurement every year.
Yeah, so like when you go to the doctor's office, they measure how tall you are, and that's usually in feet and inches, right? It's like you're like 4 feet tall and you're 4 inches or something like that, right? And so that's what we're going to be working on today, is measuring the lengths and the widths of things. So we're going to go over here, and everyone has a ruler, right, on your desk that I gave you. You can go ahead and take that out and roll it a little bit. And these ones are a different type of ruler to where they're soft and they're smooth. And sometimes there's rulers like this, and sometimes there's rulers that are just 1 foot long, and those ones are hard and they're plastic rulers. But we're going to be using these moldable ones today. So first off, when you have your ruler out, I want everyone to grab a pencil. Does everyone have a pencil with them? And you're going to lay your ruler out flat on your desk. I'll show you. Let me grab an extra one. Yeah, just like Jordan did. So she laid it flat out on her desk. And so when you have your ruler, you can look at the end of it. And you see this little metal thing on the end right here? That's the 0 place. And whenever you're measuring something, you want to start right here at this end point, right here at the 0. So on this one, it actually has the 0, but then on most rulers, it's just going to be the very end of it right here where this metal tip is. So the next thing that you're going to do is I want you to take your pencil, and I want you to line it up with that 0 right there. Can everyone do that for me? It's a little hard since these are flexible, but it should work. So whenever you're measuring an object, you always want to line it up right there with that 0, right there at the end of it. So then the next thing you need to do is you need to look at this other point. So you see over here how this one, the end of the pencil is right here? So that one means that it's 8.5 inches. So there's the big lines, and those have the numbers on it, and that's the inches. And then a lot of times on most rulers, there's a little line right here in the middle, and that's the half mark. And that's all we're going to be doing today, is the even numbers, like an 8 inch, or the half inches, like 8.5 inches. So I want everyone to look down at your pencils and practice measuring it. And can you tell me how long your pencils are? It may be a little different depending on who has a pencil, but who can measure theirs and tell me how long they think it is? Yes, what do you think yours is, Brittany?
6 inches.
Yep, you're good. It's right at 6 inches. So who else measured theirs? Who can tell me how long theirs is?
Mine's
Jordan?
6 inches too.
Is yours exactly 6 inches as well?
Mine is 2.
Does anyone else have anything different than 6 inches? Okay, what's yours, Megan?
Mine's 7.25.
Oh wow, so she has a really long pencil over there. And what's yours, Alyssa?
Mine's 6 inches.
Okay, so yours is a little bit longer as well. So that's how you practice that's how you measure something with a ruler. It's fairly simple, but it does take a lot of time to line each thing up and look and see. So we're going to practice. I have a couple objects up here on the screen, and I want you to tell me how long you think each one of these objects are. So how long do you think this paperclip is? Someone can raise their hand and tell me. Maddie, what do you think it is?
5 inches.
Yep, you're right. It's right at 5 inches. And Jordan, I saw you raise your hand, so you can do this next one. How long do you think this piece of paper is?
6 inches.
Yep, good job. So it's right here at 6 inches. So it started here. So what do you have to do first?
You started through 0.
Yep, so it started here at the 0, and then you looked all the way at the end, and it said it was 6 inches long. So we have a couple more of them here. Who can tell me how long this crayon is? It's a little hard to judge because it doesn't line up exactly. You can make a line down, and how long do you think it is? Yes, what do you think it is?
9 inches.
Yep, good job. It's 9 inches long. And here's our last one for us. How long do you think this scissors is? Yes, Maddie?
7 inches long?
Yep, good job. It's right exactly at 7 inches. So we're going to do a quick activity so that way you can make sure that you know measuring, and we're actually going to get up and be active around the room. So each person, or there should be pairs of partners that have a worksheet. It's called Measuring Around the Classroom. Do your partners have that? Does everyone have theirs? It's okay, so you're going to get together with your partner, and we switch this over, and I can show you what we're going to do. So each person has this worksheet, and so it says, so some of them are measuring by feet, and some of them are measuring by inches. So I want Megan and your partner, and Jordan and your partner, and Maddie and your partner. I want y'all to go through and measure the first 4 things on this list. And then everyone else who I did not mention, I want y'all to measure the last 4 things on this list. You can get up and move around the classroom, and you're going to have a couple minutes to do this, and I'll walk around and help you. And then afterwards, we're going to come together and see if everyone got the same measurements or if everyone got different measurements for each one. So y'all can go ahead and find your partners and get up and start moving, and I'll come around and help you if you need it.
It's just because of the part. It's the so with the classrooms.
I can do your height. Okay. Hold this. Oh wait.
How long do you think this one is?
27.
27 inches.
What's your name?
See.
I'm sorry. Yep. Up here. Yeah.
And once you're done, you can just come and sit back down in your seats.
Are y'all done already?
3 foot 6 inches. 2 feet 3 inches.
Okay, good job. Okay, everyone should be finishing up, so we're gonna get together and we're gonna look at our answers together. Is everyone done, or is anyone still working? Are we all good? Okay, so raise my hand if you were the people who measured the first 4 items on our list. Okay, so we'll be talking with y'all. So, Megan, what did you get for the width of the classroom door?
We have 3 feet.
3 feet? Did anyone else get anything different? Or was everyone right there at 3 feet? Okay, good job. And what about the length of a pencil? And we already know that one's going to be different depending on who measured it, because we already talked about that one. But what were some of y'all answers? Yes,
They're
sir.
6 inches.
Yours was exactly 6 inches?
Yep.
Was anyone else's something different? Was anyone about 6 inches? Okay, good job. And what about the height of the desk? Now this one can change depending on which desk you measure. So what did some of y'all get? Yes, Jordan?
We got 2 feet 3 inches.
Awesome. So this one's a little challenging because yes, it was 2 feet, but then you also had to measure on top of it, right?
Yes.
Because it wasn't exactly 2 feet, so you had to add on some inches as well. And it was 3 inches? Okay, and what about the length of a pencil pouch? This one can also change depending on what you measured. So, Maddie, what did you do? Or how long was your pencil pouch?
Pencil case was 10 inches.
10 inches? Did anyone else have anything different? Or was it all about 10 inches long? Okay, and who were the people who measured the last 4 things on the list? Is that y'all in the back corner? Okay, so how long was your class binder, or how tall was your class binder? Yes, Maddie?
11 inches.
11 inches? Did anyone else get anything different? Or were they all about the same? And then what about the length of the dry erase board? Now this one was a little difficult too, because you probably had to use your thing 2 or 3 times to measure the whole thing, right? So how long was it? Yes, how long was it?
About 6 feet.
About 6 feet? And this one's one of those where you sometimes just have to estimate it, right? Because it's kind of hard to add the feet on top of each other with this thing, so it's not quite long enough, is it, right? Okay. And what about your length of your pair of scissors? How long was that?
8.5.
8.5 inches? Was there anyone else's about that same, or was it anything different? Okay, and then this last one, this one's just a fun one, and this one will change depending on who you measured. But how tall was your partner? Yes, Maddie, how tall was your partner?
This is about 5.5 feet.
5.5 feet? And what about the other group? How tall was your partner?
5 feet and 4 inches.
Okay, there you go. So you're both about the same. So now we've done this, and you can save this for future use. So let's ask a couple questions. So what things were easy to measure on the classroom? What things were the easiest things that you measured? Yes, Annalise.
Scissors.
The scissors, was that because they were smaller, they were easy to measure? And then what were some of the things that were the most difficult to measure around the classroom? Yes, Sadie.
The dry erase board,
The dry erase board, and why was that hard?
because you had to use your measuring tape a lot of times.
Yes, and then you had to keep track of it and add it on top of each other. And that's one of the things that's a little difficult now, but it will get easier as time goes on. So now we're going to do a quick little independent practice. I'm sure you have it. It's this worksheet right here. So you can just go through and you can take it and you can measure your items, and then once you're done you can just pass it to the center. Good job, Jordan. Just remember to put your name on the top, okay?
Okay.
Good job, Brittany. Flying. Yeah. Yes, Brittany, I'm right with you. Does anyone else need any help, or do you think you got it? Good job, Jordan. Thank you. Would you mind putting today's date on it really quick? It's November 1st. Thank you. Thank you, Montana. Good job. Is anyone else done with theirs? Thank you, Megan. There's a couple more people working, so you can just sit for a couple minutes. Oh, thank you. You can just pass it down. I'll grab it. Thank you. Okay, so after we've done this, how do y'all feel about this? Do you feel confident that you can at least measure a couple of the little bit things around the classroom? And as we work on this, we're going to start working more. So on our tomorrow, we're going to work on measuring not just to 2 inches and 3 inches and 2.5 inches, but we're going to talk about these little lines in between and what those mean tomorrow. So after that, how do you feel? Thumbs up? Iffy? Thumbs down? Okay, I'm glad. I see a lot of thumbs up. Well, thank you. So we're going to pack up. We're going to move on to our next lesson.